Part of the problem is people. Not that people aren't nice. Some of them are very nice. But there are so many of them. About 6,000 are born every day in the USA, including Sundays and holidays. That's enough population increase every year for a new Detroit or Philadelphia. Which brings us to the real problem: providing housing for that many new people each year. We just haven't been building that much. In fact, Congress found that our housing needs were substantially higher than our previous best production levels. Much of our basic supply of housing is growing older and less than adequate. In some areas of the United States, the need is already acute. Congress, recognizing the problem, directed the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, to find a solution. HUD was not concerned with trying to change population trends. HUD's interest centered on upgrading and preserving our existing housing as well as developing new housing. The obvious solution to the problem was build more houses. That sounds like a reasonable approach and reasonably simple until you really look into the idea. First of all, you need land to build on, and that's becoming expensive and scarce in areas where people want to live. You have to have financing at reasonable interest. You need skilled craftsmen, and they're in short supply. You need building materials, and our natural resources are not unlimited. You need transportation. You need improved methods for producing houses, but new construction methods require the establishment of new standards and improved codes. If any one of these requirements is not met, and met in the same short time span, then the whole plan fails. Needed was a way to eliminate or minimize these constraints to home building, a way to break through them, a new way of doing things, a housing breakthrough. To get this necessary breakthrough underway, HUD invited private industry to suggest more efficient ways of building houses. Over 200 proposals were submitted. Some suggested new ideas and methods. Others utilized ideas and experience from other countries. Some suggested available methods that had not yet found extensive use. Finally, 22 housing producers were selected. Some of those selected were large companies that had never been directly in the housing industry before. Others were familiar home building names that sought to improve their methods. Others were small experienced builders, and some were small new companies. The housing systems produced were to be erected on special demonstration sites selected for climatic variety as well as for their variety of urban and suburban locations. 218 sites were proposed by state and local government officials who agreed to provide code and zoning flexibility. 9 were finally chosen. Housing developed under Breakthrough would be for all income levels, but with special emphasis on the broad middle price range. The quality of the homes, regardless of material used, had to be equal or superior to homes in the same price range produced by older, more conventional methods, and of course faster and easier to erect and produce in volume. These aims are achieved by 2 interdependent factors. One is industrialization, building the basic housing components in a factory where quality can be rigidly supervised, where techniques are perfected and repeated to exacting specifications, where materials can be incorporated that would be difficult if not impossible in field-type construction, where economies can be achieved through use of a stable workforce trained to perform specific tasks with great efficiency. These manpower gains have been recognized and endorsed by the nation's labor leaders. The factory installation of such basic items as wiring, insulation, and plumbing results in cost savings that help cut the rapid rise in costs that's existed in recent years. Regardless of the materials used, concrete, wood, metals, plastics, the completed units are strong and durable. The second interdependent factor assured the quality of Operation Breakthrough Housing. That was the establishment of exacting performance guides and criteria for the innovative methods and materials being used in the housing systems. The National Bureau of Standards, working with HUD, conducted exhaustive tests to scientifically and realistically establish new criteria based upon performance of the materials and techniques used. The new criteria became a manual of good practice and are available to code officials and industry representatives for their review and comments. These criteria provide the first comprehensive approach for evaluating and accepting new or innovative methods. Breakthrough stimulation has also led to the establishment of strong and modern statewide codes for industrialized housing in nearly half our states. And when built to such statewide codes, industrialized housing would not be restricted by the multitude of local code variations. These statewide codes and reciprocity between states using a standardized code results in a volume market which provides the opportunity for housing at lower cost. The transportation of the housing units from the producer to the building site was another area of concern. By HUD and other governmental agencies is helping establish new shipping rates and standards. The arrival time at the site must be controlled. Too soon, and the unit must be stored. Too late, and the manpower and equipment needed to erect the unit are idle. In fact, the entire process must be carefully scheduled and arranged. The vital coordination of critical tasks was one of the reasons for establishing management control rooms, a management tool that emphasizes the differences between industrialized production and more conventional field-type construction. Use of sophisticated management techniques has led to the introduction of new accounting and cost control procedures. Information from this and other demonstration sites is duplicated in a master control room at HUD's Breakthrough Office in Washington, D.C. While the task of developing new housing was going on, the various demonstration sites were getting special attention. Teams of landscape architects and planners were establishing fresh designs for living, making the most of natural assets, protecting the ecology, planning for play areas, considering carefully the location of roads and need for utilities, evolving a harmonious mix of housing for a variety of family types and lifestyles, and with a variety of housing costs, all done with consideration for the surrounding community. The arrival and erection of the housing systems proved the efficacy of the site plans and also proved that the local labor force was both available and capable for this new type of building erection. As the sites took shape, the quality and value of the housing systems became apparent. Now the financing methods had to be established to make these homes available to those who wanted them. New financing methods, cooperative plans, traditional mortgages, rental with option to buy, condominium. Many plans are being used, making it possible for more and more families to have the housing they need and want now. The success of Operation Breakthrough is now apparent. The fully developed sites show that. There is a vitality, a quality of lifestyle evidenced on each of the sites. To bring this about, a number of things had to occur. Statewide codes, factory labor agreements, performance measures for evaluating innovation, improved transportation, improved site plans, state action in housing quality assurance, and improved management techniques. The industrialization of housing has been accelerated by the breakthrough process and the opportunity it opens for volume markets. Operation Breakthrough is finding new solutions to the original problem: how to meet the demand for quality housing needed by our constantly increasing population at prices they can afford. As a result of Operation Breakthrough, industrialized housing is already supplementing the nation's housing supply. Production is growing rapidly, indicating that during this decade, a large share of the nation's need for housing will be satisfied by industrialized methods. Operation Breakthrough has brought new companies, new techniques, new people into the housing industry. Operation Breakthrough has proven that government, through action and cooperation with private industry, can solve the problems that face our growing nation before they reach the critical stage.